Hi, Denise. Thanks
Hi.
for joining. Today, we're just doing a little video testimonial for you because you've completed the 12-week meditation program.
Yes.
Superconscious and frequencies added. So, I would love to know a little bit about your transformation and impact. Like, what was the biggest personal transformation that you experienced during your journey?
I would say it gave me a lot of empowerment and trust in myself. I had been a victim and an enabler for so long. And I found that just looking into my own head, it helped me just to understand that I'm a lot stronger than I thought I was.
That's the truth. So, if you were to say mental, emotional, or spiritual well-being, where do you think or how has it impacted those aspects of you?
My mental and emotional, definitely the strongest for me. There's a definite sense of peace that wasn't there before and a lot more joy in my life. Just the fact that we're all looking for the quick fix, and by putting us in a situation where you have to do the homework and you have to do it for 12 weeks, that's definitely a therapeutic length of time. And I'm sure it's been proven somewhere that it's okay. And by doing that time frame, you will get the results that your course says it will, providing you do the work. And people don't want to believe that. Oh, it's too long. It's 12 weeks. Well, you kind of need to invest in yourself. You only have the one head and body to live with.
Yeah, 12 weeks in the scope of a lifetime is
Right,
think of an eye, and people, it doesn't ask you to do much but show up.
right, right. And spend minutes in the morning or whenever you can doing your meditation, which you should be doing anyway.
True, true. Uh,
So this way it's more focused. And, you find at the end of the 12 weeks, you want to start again.
Good.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's fantastic. In my world, I think I want to do it forever because, I hit roadblocks at about 8 weeks. And so it'll be interesting to get to that point again and see if it just doesn't give me as much trouble in my head as it did before. Because I expect it just to actually move seamlessly from week to week because my body and my head was ready for this therapy.
Tell me about the week 8. Do you remember what was the topic?
I think that was financial.
Ah, yes,
Yes.
yes.
And then with the current political situation and economy, yeah, everything was just kind of in a turmoil.
Yeah, so when we got to the money week, there were, what would you say, looking back at that, what do you think that was all about? Like,
My uncertainty, my fear for the future, not to be able to have trust in what I already have in place with my financial advisors and things like that. And as I had said to you, that I'm trying to do the meditation, but I could literally feel my spirit trying to run towards the right. If my spirit could have left my body, it would have gone away because it wanted no part of what we were doing.
so it's not so much your spirit, it sounds more like your unconscious agenda that
Okay.
is the one that is resisting change. So you did it anyway.
Mm.
And then after the week of that money meditation, how did you feel? Did you feel any different or more in alignment of where you want to be?
A little bit more in alignment. I know I have more to go, though. It is definitely not done.
Hmm. Well, I'm glad
So,
you stuck with it. And then after you continued, did you feel more in alignment to keep going?
made myself.
Yes.
It was hard. Like you had said, each week, if you're falling behind, things like that. And I just wasn't going to let that happen. I told myself, okay, we'll move on from this and we will come back to it.
Good. It's always there for you
Mhm.
because what that week does is rewrites your old, money story. If you did not like your money story, you get to rewrite it. And our belief systems when it comes to money, it's kind of rooted in the same area of the brain as family. It's that big of a deal. It means survival to us. It really isn't, but that's what we believe. And
Yeah.
so we have to kind of approach it from a whole new learning and realize
Yeah.
how abundant we are and we want more. So, yeah, it's
And
just amazing.
going into abundance afterwards helped. It really does.
Good.
It really helped.
Yes. And I would love to know what some aha moments you had during the whole program that shifted more than others, perhaps.
I just felt a lot better in my own skin.
Mm.
Yeah. That to me, that was the biggest aha. My husband's like, there's not any huge differences in you, but there's just some subtleties. And whatever I've done in my past, and any kind of coach will tell you, write down what you're grateful for, and all of that. And that was not something I felt comfortable ever doing until I went with this program. And I found that in my head, thinking of my grateful list and that I'm already living my wonderful life, just making it better, I found that to be the most profound. I no longer feel, even though I've been married for 30 years, like I'm going to be abandoned like I was as a child. And I can just be more comfortable in my relationship. And I'm very ready to let many more people into my life where I never was before.
Oh, okay. So we all have our own story that we created growing up that was rooted in our unconscious, and we don't even realize how we go through life replaying those same fears, even though they're not a threat to us anymore, such as being abandoned as a child, or the child believes that they were abandoned. They go through life in all their relationships always waiting to be abandoned, and they don't even realize that they're running a program in the
Mm-hmm.
background with an underlying fear, and that impacts all the relationships in their entire life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You'll run away before you let somebody else do it to you again. And I did it for a very, very long time, and even struggled with it even after a 30-year marriage. Not anymore, though. That's all gone.
Well, I'm glad for the both of you when it comes to this particular wound, as we call it, that we carry, and not realize that we've been carrying it and it's been impacting our loved ones as well. We haven't been able to
Mm-hmm.
let them in maybe as we would have, or we would react in a certain way as a knee-jerk reaction from
Mm-hmm.
that fear, where that person kind of wouldn't know where that came from, doesn't understand, like, what did I do? Like, I have no
Right.
intention of abandoning you. But
Right.
yeah, interesting.
Yeah. I don't know if you recall, we were talking about the bubble and how I said my bubble was very hard, and you said maybe you should make it a little softer.
That's right. You always had a shield. Yeah, we were talking
Mhm.
about protective shields for empaths. And what you were saying is my protective shield is so it won't let anyone in already. And so we
Right.
had to energetically, literally soften up like an idea in our head that we are safe letting
Right.
people penetrate that shield.
And that was a big one for me.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I can do that, can't I? And it's like, stupid.
We don't realize how much power we have, like you said. I don't know if it's from stupidity. I think it's just from programming, and
Mhm.
we don't realize that we are programmed to believe that we are powerless.
Yes. And that is a huge takeaway for people. That's a game changer.
Yeah,
You can finally feel like you actually do have a lot to contribute. You just haven't let yourself.
very true. Very true. So what else would you say that maybe this program was different from anything else you've tried? Because it sounds like you've tried other things.
I've gone through professional counseling
Mhm.
and I never felt all it kept doing was pulling up the old stories and making you think about them if you could remember them, but you never moved on from it. You were just always in the old stories. And with this one, you're like, okay, accept what's happened. There's things you just cannot change because it's in the past, and it teaches you to move on. And that's huge. You don't get stuck in your own hell. You can get out of it.
You really got it.
Yeah,
You really got it. That is 100% true. As someone that I have tried therapies and every module and self-help in my lifetime, and realizing what? I don't have to revisit and open those old wounds. I can
right,
just realize I am perfect as I am, despite whatever happened to me, and I could just create this way of life I love to live.
right. Because your mistakes in the past are not a life sentence, they're a lesson.
Absolutely. There are no mistakes in the superconscious perspective. Yeah. Thank you for that. And if in one sentence, how would you describe the experience if to someone who is watching this and is considering joining?
If you have problems that aren't resolving, do not hesitate because this will help you. It may not be 100% the first go around, but it might be by the second because once you have the program, it's yours and you can do with it what you need to, and it will heal you if you let it. And that's more than one sentence. Sorry.
That's perfect. That's whatever. We just allow you to be you. And at the same time, what you're saying is yes, you can do it all over again, but sometimes you might see there's a week where you want to spend more time in.
Yes. And you can if you're doing it on your own, which I might be doing for week 8.
Yeah, and what about yeah, I think that's a great idea. Those meditations are there anytime. There were some bonuses. I'm not sure if you did any of the bonuses meditations
I
or
did some of them, but I will be able to delve into them more this time because I'm not pressed for time.
great. And if you were on the fence, like complete this sentence for me. If you are on the fence about joining, just know that
This will change the way you look at yourself and your life in a positive way.
that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Denise. Any last words or anything else you wanted to get out there or express?
Don't hesitate, do the program, and definitely reach out because she's there to help you and she does a great job of it.
Yeah, we did a one-on-one too.
That was great. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how would you compare one-on-one to the program?
Well, it's definitely more to my needs. I mean,
Yeah,
it's still, to me, it was still the same as the program, just a little bit deeper.
yeah, yeah, of course, what you would expect.
Right.
That's great. That's great. I'm so glad. I've been talking to different people from the program, and what I got is so interesting that everybody had different areas of their lives where which was more prominent for them. Be it a lot of it is family, obviously. Most of it is family.
So,
And do you relate to your family differently now?
oh yeah, yeah, I definitely do. Um, is it hard because I'm 2,800 miles away from them? Sometimes it's easier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But no, definitely different. And the family was never a real problem for me, I'm happy to say, because I'm older and, deceased parents and things like that. So what can you do, right? It is life.
Yeah.
But at this point, I'm, moving on to other things because, you only have so much time in this world. Make the best of it.
Yes. Yes. Look forward and onward and know that you're worthy of it. Well,
No, I
thank
really appreciate what you've done for me. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks. Thanks for the share.
Okay.